Hi again, mathematical fifth grade thinkers. We are starting today's lesson with a warm-up, fractions. So pause the video and you're going to do a couple of one addition, one subtraction, and two multiplication problems with fractions. So you've got 3/4 plus 3/5, 4/5 times 1/3, 2 minus 1/6, and 2 1/4 times 1 1/3. Pause the video and work on those problems right now. All right, this is part 2. It is lesson 5.8. In lesson 5.7, you did some construction using your compass and a straight edge. And so for part 2, you are going to use those tools to construct more congruent figures. And you're going to apply what you know about perpendicular lines, and you'll be drawing and identifying different angles and shapes. So our new vocabulary: the word perpendicular means forming a right angle. So we often draw perpendicular lines like this: straight, vertical, horizontal, and they form right angles. To bisect a line segment or an angle means to divide it into two parts, and the two parts have equal measurement. And then the word inscribe means you draw within. So in this lesson, you're going to be inscribing a square into a circle. So you're going to draw it within the circle, but the vertices of the square will touch the circle. So first thing, how to copy an angle. So these are the steps you're going to be using. And you'll see this in the math journal. That's where you'll be drawing your angle. So first there will be an angle, angle B, and you'll start by just making a ray. And again, remember that you identify that with the same letter. This is your pre-image and this is your image. So this is going to be B, point B, and this will be B prime. So the first thing it tells you is to draw that ray, and then you're going to move your compass. You'll put the anchor on B, and you're going to draw an arc that will move itself through the rays of the circle. All right, so you'll be moving the pencil point like that. All right, next step. You're going to leave the compass opening the way that you had it, and you're going to place your anchor on B, okay? And you're going to draw another arc on your line or on your ray, just the way you did on your angle. So you're going to do exactly the same thing. You did it on an angle here. Now you're just going to do it on the ray. So we'll open this about there. And again, we'll be drawing an arc right on our ray. Okay, then we're going to move that compass. And again, it's just following a direction. You're going to put the compass anchor on A and the pencil point on phi. We'll have to rotate it a little bit to get that pencil point there. Okay. And you're going to make an arc right there so that it will cross just as you see here. And then you'll connect that point, point C to point B. So you're making a congruent angle just with a compass. And just by opening the compass, by placing the anchor, opening the compass, you are creating arcs that then will be combined to make that other ray. So that's one of the things that you'll be doing. You'll also be constructing a quadrangle. And remember, we've learned that regular polygons can be divided into triangles. So when you look at the quadrangle, you can decide how best to construct that shape, but one suggestion would be to take the quadrangle that's given to you, the pre-image, and divide it into triangles, because you've now learned in the previous lesson how to make a triangle, and here you've learned how to make angles that match. So on the first page of the journal that you'll be working on, you'll be constructing an angle just using your compass and your straight edge. You'll be constructing a quadrangle, okay? And the third thing that you'll be doing today is something called constructing a perpendicular bisector. All right, so we know perpendicular at right angles, and we know bisector is going to divide something into two parts that have equal measurements. So you're going to start with a line segment, which we'll call AB. You're going to put your compass so that the compass opening is more than half the distance. So it's got to be more than half of this distance. Half would be the midpoint. You want it more than half. So if I move here, you can see my compass is opened to more than half of the distance here. Okay. And I'm going to make an arc below the segment, and then I'm going to make an arc above the segment. So I'm going to have two arcs above this segment, AB. I'm going to move on. I'm going to keep the opening exactly the same. I'm going to put my anchor on B, and then I'm going to cross. So I make an X there, all right? And I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom. I'm going to cross so that I've got that X. Once I've done that, I'm going to be able to connect M and N. So I've constructed a bisector perpendicular. These are right angles, and it divides my segment AB directly in half, equal amount on both sides. So I didn't use a ruler to measure and then divide it in half. I used my compass, which is what you'll be using today. And I can also use this to divide my line segment into with two perpendicular bisectors, so I end up having 4 parts. So again, you're just going to follow the directions, draw your line segment AB, and this time you'll label a point P somewhere on that segment. Okay, you'll get your compass anchor, and it's going to go on point P. Okay, I'm going to flip it here. Okay, and the anchor needs to be moved over here. So I'm going to make an arc here. I'm going to make an arc there, and I'm going to label those C and D. And then it tells me that I'm going to make sure that the compass opening is greater than the length of CP. Okay, I'm going to put my anchor on C. All right. And I want to open it probably a little more. Okay. And this over, I'm going to be able to make my anchor here. And then I'm going to be able to flip it, move my compass to D, and I'm going to be able to make my uh, arc there so that I've got a point, and then I can then make that point go from O to P. All right. And I've made that perpendicular bisector. So you're going to be doing this in class today. You're going to be doing constructions like this. If you need additional assistance, you can look at the student reference book, and that will help you. And we're going to end today with a little Calvin and Hobbes comic. and I'll see all of you in math class where you will be working on your personal goals. Thanks for tuning in.